There is a food with more protein than chicken. It grows in 3 days. It requires no soil. It requires no sunlight. It multiplies its nutrition by up to 800% during germination. For 5,000 years, Chinese emperors demanded it for longevity. 18th century ship captains used it to cure scurvy when citrus was unavailable. During World War II, the United States government printed manuals teaching citizens to grow it in their kitchens. Then it started disappearing, not from gardens, but from stores. One outbreak, 53 dead, and suddenly, the food that anyone could grow for pennies became surrounded by regulations, warnings, and fear. They did not ban it. They did something smarter. They made it difficult to sell, expensive to produce commercially, and dangerous sounding to consumers. A food that costs nearly nothing and grows without permission is not illegal. It is just quietly erased from the supply chain. This is the sprout, the most nutrient-dense food you can produce in your kitchen, and the one industry cannot control. Welcome to history's hidden harvest. Before we unearth this forgotten survival food, know that every like, every share, and every subscription helps preserve the wisdom the modern world wants you to forget. If the harvests hidden in plain sight matter to you, hit subscribe and the bell. Now let us dig. The story begins in 3000 BC in ancient China. Emperor Shen Nung, the father of Chinese medicine, documents the healing properties of germinated beans in his pharmacopoeia. He prescribes sprouts for edema, muscle cramps, digestive weakness, and poor circulation. The text survives for 5,000 years because his observations were correct. Germination transforms seeds. A dry bean is nutritionally modest. Add water and wait 3 days. The same bean becomes something else entirely. Vitamin C increases by up to 800%. B vitamins double and triple. Enzymes activate that were dormant in the seed. Proteins break into amino acids that the human body absorbs more efficiently. Anti-nutrients like phytic acid that block mineral absorption decrease by up to 90%. The Chinese understood this without microscopes. They observed that people who ate the sprouts recovered faster, lived longer, and resisted disease. Sprouts became essential to Chinese cuisine and medicine. They spread across Asia. Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese, and Thai cooking all feature sprouts as foundational ingredients. 5,000 years of continuous use. In 1772, Captain James Cook faced a crisis. His crew was dying of scurvy on long Pacific voyages. Citrus fruits rotted within weeks at sea. Cook experimented with everything. One solution worked. He ordered his sailors to sprout barley and malt in damp cloths below deck. The sprouts provided enough vitamin C to prevent scurvy. His crew survived voyages that killed other expeditions. The British Navy adopted sprouting protocols. Ships carried seeds instead of perishable fruits. A handful of dry beans became fresh vegetables in days, anywhere on Earth, without soil, without sunlight, without land. Springing was survival technology. During World War II, the United States faced potential food shortages. The government needed cheap, fast, reliable protein sources that civilians could produce without farmland. In 1943, the USDA published Extension Bulletin number 492. The title was simple: Sprouting Seeds for Human Consumption. The bulletin taught Americans to grow mung bean sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, and lentil sprouts in jars on kitchen counters. It called sprouting the easiest and most reliable method of producing fresh vegetables without a garden. Millions of Americans learned. Victory gardens included sprouting stations. Communities shared techniques. A single pound of dry seeds produced 8 pounds of fresh food. Protein without meat. Vitamins without farms. Independence without supply chains. Then the war ended. Industrial agriculture expanded. Supermarkets replaced gardens. The knowledge faded. By the 1970s, sprouts returned through the health food movement. Commercial sprouting operations emerged. Alfalfa sprouts appeared on sandwiches across America. Mung bean sprouts filled grocery produce sections. A new generation discovered what their grandparents had known. Then came 2011. In Germany, an outbreak of enterohemorrhagic Escherichia coli spread through northern Europe. Within weeks, 53 people died. Nearly 4,000 fell seriously ill. Investigators traced the contamination to fenugreek sprouts from an organic farm. The seeds had carried the bacteria. The warm, moist sprouting conditions had multiplied it. The response was immediate. The European Union implemented emergency regulations on sprout production. Commercial sprouting facilities faced new testing requirements, sanitation protocols, and liability standards. Small producers could not afford compliance. They closed. In the United States, the FDA had already been tightening regulations after smaller outbreaks in the 1990s. After 2011, pressure increased. The agency issued guidance recommending that children, elderly, pregnant women, and immunocompromised individuals avoid raw sprouts entirely. Grocery chains reconsidered their risk. Suppliers reduced production. Between 2010 and 2020, the number of commercial sprout producers in the United States declined by over 40%. Shelf space shrank. Prices rose. A food that anyone could grow for pennies became harder to find and more expensive to buy. Here is what nobody explained. The contamination problem is exclusively a commercial production problem. Large-scale sprouting operations process thousands of pounds of seeds from multiple sources. One contaminated batch spreads through the entire system. The warm, humid conditions that sprouts require are identical to conditions that bacteria love. Home sprouting carries virtually none of this risk. You control the seed source, you control the sanitation. You rinse twice daily, you consume within days. The scale that creates danger in commercial production does not exist in a mason jar on your counter. But regulations do not distinguish between industrial and home production. Warnings apply to all sprouts. Fear spreads to all sprouts, and consumers learn to avoid what they could safely and easily grow themselves. The nutritional profile reveals why this matters. 100 grams of raw alfalfa sprouts contains 4 grams of protein with only 23 calories. The same weight of chicken breast contains 31 grams of protein but requires land, feed, water, processing, refrigeration, and transportation. Per calorie invested, sprouts deliver protein more efficiently than any animal source. Mung bean sprouts provide vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and manganese. Lentil sprouts deliver iron at concentrations that rival red meat. Broccoli sprouts contain sulforaphane at levels up to 100 times higher than mature broccoli. A 2019 study from Johns Hopkins University confirmed that sulforaphane from broccoli sprouts activates cellular defense mechanisms that no other food matches. The science is overwhelming. Sprouts are among the most nutrient-dense foods available to humans. They require no land. They require no growing season. They produce food anywhere on Earth in 72 hours. This is precisely why the food industry cannot tolerate them. The global seed market is worth over $60 billion annually. The fresh produce market exceeds $200 billion. The meat industry generates over $1 trillion. Every market depends on consumers who cannot feed themselves. Every supply chain profits from dependence. Sprouts break the model. A $1 bag of lentils produces $8 worth of fresh sprouts. A $5 bag of organic seeds provides a month of supplemental protein. No farm required, no transportation required, no refrigeration required until harvest, no corporation required at any point. You cannot patent a mung bean. You cannot create proprietary sprouting genetics. You cannot force consumers to buy what they can grow in a jar. The food that sustained Chinese emperors, saved sailors from scurvy, and fed Americans during wartime offers no profit margin. So it becomes dangerous sounding. Warnings accumulate, shelf space disappears, and a generation grows up believing sprouts are risky rather than revolutionary. Identifying sprout-ready seeds is simple. Purchase whole, untreated seeds labeled for sprouting or food use. Avoid seeds treated with fungicides for agricultural planting. Mung beans, lentils, alfalfa, broccoli, radish, and clover all sprout easily. Start with mung beans or lentils. They are forgiving and fast. Growing requires only a wide-mouthed jar, mesh or cheesecloth, a rubber band, and water. Soak seeds overnight. Drain. Rinse twice daily. Keep the jar inverted at an angle to drain excess water. In 3 to 5 days, sprouts fill the jar. Harvest when tails reach 1 to 2 inches. Refrigerate and eat within a week. 1 tablespoon of seeds produces 1 cup of sprouts. We did not lose sprouts. We were taught to fear them. The regulations that strangled commercial production serve food safety in industrial contexts but ignore the reality of home production. The warnings that scare consumers protect supply chains, not health. But seeds remain available. Mason jars remain legal. Water still flows from taps. The knowledge that fed emperors and sailors and wartime families survives in every jar of lentils on every grocery shelf. No regulation can stop you from soaking beans in your kitchen. Climate change is disrupting agriculture. Supply chains are fragile. Protein prices are rising. The food that produces 800% more nutrition in 72 hours, without soil, without sunlight, without corporate involvement, becomes more valuable every year. Every jar of sprouts is an act of independence. Every kitchen that produces food without permission breaks the logic of a system that profits from dependence. The sprout does not care about regulations. It simply grows when water meets seed. If this harvest revealed something for you, subscribe to History's Hidden Harvest and hit the bell. Every like and every share preserves what they tried to erase from history. The next harvest unearthed soon.